So FARANAK SHAHROOZI, welcome to the show. Musician, pianist. Where are you located?
I am, well, hello.
Hello.
I am in California.
Okay, California.
Yeah,
Awesome.
the Bay Area, the Silicon Valley.
So on the other side of this big island of ours. So
Oh,
you've got some releases on Vivo, whatever,
yeah.
on
Yes.
YouTube
YouTube.
and FARANAK Music. So FARANAK, tell me a little bit more about who you are, what you do, what you've been up to.
Oh, I am FARANAK SHAHROOZI. I am a pianist and a composer, and been doing this all my life. Professionally, I studied music, classical music at San Jose State University. I am Iranian American. What else? And after I graduated from college, I pursued, the music business and doing albums. I'm on my fourth album right now, although the first and the second one, the first one was just got my foot in the door. I had a 5-piece band that I connected through our San Jose Symphony, and I was like kind of doing what I was doing with them, performing and everything for shows, and I got the attention of Lenny Williams of Tower of Power. I was playing on a cruise ship near San Francisco, and he saw my music, and I reminded him of Kenny G. Because my music was very melodic, and he thought the producer of Kenny G is Lenny's friend, so he introduced me to Preston Glass. And I worked with Preston Glass. He's a great, famous producer. He's actually a Hall of Fame inductee for soul music and pop music, and he's produced everybody, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin. So he heard that little album that I put together, and he said, "Yeah, I want to sign you on." So he did. So then we recorded an album, and he wanted to do exactly what he did on Kenny G's album that flew off the shelves, duotone. And this was like maybe 7-8 years after duotone was really famous. So he did exactly modeled it just like that. Lenny Williams sang one of my songs, and just like he did that on Kenny G's album, we did the same exact thing. So I lived in Napa Valley, and late Robert Mondavi, the winemaker, famous winemaker, he loved my music. So we did an album with Robert Mondavi signing it, and Margaret, his wife, did the artwork of my album. I should bring it and show it to you. It's right here. Do you want to see it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just 1 second.
No, it's okay.
So here it is. This is what I did with Robert Mondavi.
Oh, okay.
And if you can see the back, it's Margaret, his wife. She passed away too. She did she also did all the, some of the wines, labels of the wines are her paintings.
Portraits, or she actually painted them.
Me like that.
Oh, okay.
So we used to sell this in Napa Valley, and I was pretty famous in Napa. And
hell yeah.
So, I started with this album.
Okay.
It's something I put together myself, Journey Through My Heart, and I was doing it with my friends from San Jose Symphony. So anyhow, I was doing that, and what else? So Robert Mondavi signed a huge bottle of wine, and Preston Glass went to see Clive Davis at, I think he had Jive Records. And so Clive said, "Oh, she's really good, but I'm working with another pianist and she can sing too, and compose and sing. So bring FARANAK later. And we never did because I got pregnant. I had a baby. And when my baby was born, Alicia Keys' album came out. So he was talking about Alicia Keys. He was working with Alicia and he was preparing to launch her. So my music ended up in the back burner. I had my baby and I raised my kid and I performed in Napa. You know, all the famous people used to come to Napa Valley and have events and weddings and anything. I used to do little concerts, all kinds of things. So that was my my journey, my musical journey. So, and then later, I fell in love with a really, really nice man after I got my divorce. And I wrote this album for him. This one, Eternal Love. So I put this out in all the digital platforms just by myself. I wrote this album for Steve Lohr. He's a famous winemaker. I met him in Napa, and his wine is, I don't know if you drink wine, J. Lohr Vineyards and Wines.
I drink whatever wine my wife shoves in front of my face. But
this one, you see it right in the end cap.
Oh, okay.
Safeway, anywhere you go, you see it. It's everywhere, you know. J. Lohr. So I wrote this album. And I moved from Napa to Silicon Valley because his winery is here and Paso Robles, and so that's my life. And I followed him everywhere, and my music was in the internet. I was kind of happy until the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Pandemic. I sat home and I wrote another album. I produced another album, and here I am promoting it, signed with Symphonics distribution. And then A&R at Symphonic signed me, and he loves my music, and he thinks, this thing is gonna go up, move up. So do you get something on the screen, on my screen?
Oh, no, that's good.
Notifications? Okay.
No, I'm not seeing any of that.
Okay, so then I produced this new album with Preston Glass. I went to LA and I stayed at his home and his wife, and we did this album together. My new album, Circles of My Mind, signed to Symphonic distribution. So we're releasing a song each 6 weeks. And I've already done 2. Love Struck is out on everywhere on digital platforms, and the video is on YouTube. And I just released My Way, Frank Sinatra's My Way. So and it's doing really well. Got playlisted on VENMO, as you said, and numbers are going up. I'm kind of moving up.
Yeah. So, going back to the quarantine, and how were you able to take advantage of that? Not to say that music production isn't difficult and challenging, but technically wise, was it easy to still stay creative and productive with music even during the quarantine? And obviously, you're putting stuff out now. So, how were you impacted, and how did you stay creative, productive during the last year and a half?
Yeah, what happened was, as I said, I'm from Iran. This has a story. I'm from Iran, and where I come from, south part of Iran, is where the war happened between Iran and Iraq. So I lost all my friends. We never saw each other after the war because everybody fled Abadan, that part of Iran. So when the quarantine happened, we all found each other on Facebook. So we did a group thing and on WhatsApp. And it's just so nice that 40 of us found each other, girls and boys all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so they heard my music and they were like, how come you're not famous? And I'm like, I'm just, I didn't follow through with it.
Yeah.
And they were all like so disappointed. You have to do, this God-given talent, do something with it, why don't you? So they gave me the courage to get back to my music. And I did this new album. I called Preston and he said, yeah, come on by, just let's do it. So I did it, and the pandemic, that whole thing got me actually excited. Everybody else was down and depressed, but for me it was like, oh my God, I'm being so creative and doing this. So
Yeah.
so I did.
So, back to the you mentioned the war in Iran. That was that the rise of the Ayatollah or
Yes.
yeah.
It was it happened 1 year after that man came to
Yeah.
came to our country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The whole thing changed. Our whole lives changed forever.
Yeah. One of my first, after, I graduated college with a degree in film and TV, and then, I actually, got pretty lucky, got a job right at Discovery Channel. And
Wow.
and I was there for about 4 years, and then I left there, went full-time freelance, and my first big contract was as a videographer and a video editor at a small little independent news station that they were broadcasting mostly to Iran, illegally to the Green Party in Iran. And so
Wow.
everything that had to do with it is a little immature at the time, but we used to call him Mucky Mood, because he was always in a bad mood, Mucky, but Mahmoud Ahmadinejad.
Ahmadinejad.
Yeah.
The monkey. He looks like a monkey.
Well, we called him Mucky Mood because since he's a dictator, like they're always in a bad mood and they're dictators.
Oh yeah, they're all.
You know what I mean? But that was kind of like the ongoing joke in the studio. But yeah, and so that was like a good 6-month contract project that I had. It was there was a lot of people, trying to find ways to hack and filter and get all these, cell phone videos and all these secretly filmed videos of the police, brutalizing members of the Green Party, demonstrators, all the demonstrations. This was 2009 to 2010. So that definitely rung a bell. Everything going on there, and it still sticks in my mind every time I see Iran on the news. I always think, I was I remember working at that station. But oh
my goodness, wow.
But yeah, I mean, like what a feat to escape all that and come here.
Well, if you're not politically involved with anything, people have great lives still. They live their own life. The only thing when you get politically involved, those are the people that But I just came here to have a better life and better opportunity to pursue my dreams, and it's a difficult situation in Iran for a lot of Iranians like me to wear that thing, and they're just like me, and you have to wear a veil and a scarf. But if you go see Tehran, go to Tehran, our capital, all these girls are so gorgeous. They wear a tiny little scarf, hair is showing everywhere, and they are so fashionable, and they just do their own thing. This regime cannot change Iranian women, and
right.
So what America shows, on TV, they just show these hardliners. They don't show the actual, normal people who live in Iran, and it's a difficult situation over there. I feel terrible, especially with the sanctions. Dollar went up so high, and people live life just like here. They spend money it's the same thing. So now Iran has become like Mexico, you know. It's just really sad. I hope one day, you know, things turn around for Iran.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, moving on from that, I mean, you came here, and back to what you were saying, that you didn't make it, you know, you did make it. You're doing what you love. You got 4 albums out. I don't know
Yeah.
anybody. I don't. I think I had one other guest that might have had more 4 albums out,
Uh-huh.
but you know, like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know many people
Uh-huh.
that have released 4 albums,
Oh,
and so you know, maybe you're working small venues in the Napa Valley and the surrounding
yes.
areas, but you know, I got to disagree with some of the friends of yours that say, like, you know, oh, they're so disappointed. I mean, that it's a huge feat.
Yeah.
It's hard to even have a small success at something
Yes.
that's something that you love. It's not just,
I know.
you know, it's easy to have success at you know, numbers. In my opinion, it's easy to
Uh-huh.
have success at
Yeah.
numbers. It's easy to have success at assembling machinery. But if you
Mm.
truly love something and you put all of it into it, and it's one of
Yeah.
those, and it's art, you know,
Yeah.
having success at art is a much greater feat, in my opinion. I'm
Mm.
sure there's a lot of people that'll disagree, but
Yeah.
now that we're about a year and a half out of the quarantine, out of the, you know, COVID scare and all that,
Mm.
have you been back on stage? Have you been back out there at the, you know, in the concerts, playing in
No, not
public?
not yet, not yet. I'm still building this thing, looking for agents to book me,
Hmm.
to start traveling. Now it's time for me to do this, put my band together, and I got my band leader back, and we're we're just waiting for. It's a waiting game, you know, to get signed with an agency who can book me, and just waiting for that. It's a process, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm doing this so fast. It's happening so fast. I already got into a movie. My music got into a movie. Now I'm signing a contract for another movie to do the theme for the movie. And this is my first time that my music will be the theme for this movie. And so I'm just, it's happening. Every day is something.
Yeah.
Something new happens and I get more contacts, and, you know, I'm building it up from from basically scratch.
So you mentioned this new album that you're releasing one track at
Mhm.
a time.
Mhm.
What's next on the agenda? Say 6 months to a year from now. What's the next set of plans, next set of goals? What's next on the
Oh,
agenda?
next on the agenda. Oh, well, see, I'm realizing this, that people love, they love my music, but more than that, people love to hear standards, you know, cover tunes. And I never thought of that. That can get you further, because instrumental music, you can play anybody's music.
Hmm.
And there's no this whole discussion. I guess there's something you give to the person as far as copywriting goes,
Yeah.
but everybody can play an instrumental version of a cover tune. So I'm thinking about next, after this album. This album has a few cover tunes: "My Way" and "Love Story" and "Speak Softly, Love," from the theme of the movie Godfather. So those are like iconic tunes.
Yeah.
I put it in this album. I changed one of the songs from Beethoven. I changed it to my own, and it's very much new age type. I did a Chopin song that people know.
Hmm.
A lot of people know, actually. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie did a movie together, their last movie together.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
used that song for the theme of the movie.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a
Mr. and Mrs.
beautiful.
Smith.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Their last movie, what was that? Something by the sea, by the sea.
Oh,
What was that?
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that one,
Yeah.
they beat each other up and everything. They
Oh,
finally got a divorce
oh,
too.
the one that they're like secret agents or assassins or something, and they're beating each other
No,
up?
that one was the first thing that they fell in
Okay.
love over that movie.
Yeah.
But 10 years later, they did another movie that they
Oh,
got
they
a
did?
divorce through that movie. So,
Okay.
so this
Yeah.
Chopin tune, it's in E minor
Hmm.
prelude. They changed it. Somebody changed it. I don't know who did this, but they made it a little bit more with drums and everything. But I did it the same way Chopin did it, except I put a little warm sound of human, like kind of like that underneath it. Sounds really good. So these are the people, the songs that people know
Yeah.
in this album. So I'm hoping that this will, it's like a snowball that's getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, I think I lost your video.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got it.
That's
I'm
okay.
here.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
going back to the cover albums, cover albums and cover
cover to
songs, it is, it is a part of that art to kind of take something, reinvent it a little bit, rework it a little bit, kind of make it your own, but it's also in respect to the previous thing. And Metallica, of all bands, they came out with a cover album, and
yeah.
they got criticized, like, oh, you guys are running out of ideas,
Oh,
you guys are running out of ideas, and so you're coming out with a cover album. And they said, no, this is the idea.
yeah.
These are the songs that inspired us to get into music and get into rock, and then even experiment with metal, and then fast thrash metal. And so they did that cover album, and it's some of their best songs. And Johnny Cash completely reinvented his career at God knows how old,
Oh.
doing the cover song of Hurt
Mhm.
by Trent Reznor. 9 Inch Nails did this song called
Yeah.
Hurt. He did a cover of it, and it's
Yeah.
it's one of the most haunting songs that
Mm,
he's ever done.
yeah.
Everybody uses his version of Hurt in movies and trailers
Yeah.
and video
Yeah.
games. And it's just a different, it's a different, it's an additional kind of style to like do a remake. And
Yes.
yeah.
I love it. I love, remaking and adding a little bit of my own touch
Yeah.
and to the song and bring it back. And also, yeah, people really love it. So for an unknown kind of beginning in my career, unknown artist, when people hear this, they pay more attention than my own music. But now, like I did my way, and it's taking off. People are paying attention to the stuff that's already out my back catalog, that's already been there for forever, and nobody was listening to it. Now I'm getting attention uh, because of this song. Um, People are listening to my own originals too.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
going back to like, you know, you coming to this country for a better life, and you delving
Mhm.
into music and the albums, and you're a mother and a wife,
Mhm.
but all that, with all that in mind, what drives you with music, with art? What drives you with creativity, and
Oh,
what's your driving force just in general?
well, one thing is wine.
Okay.
I love drinking wine. So while I'm drinking, I just get creative. But basically, I'm a very sensitive person. So, but I don't show it. People don't know how sensitive I am. And then it's just this time around, usually something triggers this drive. Um, Sometimes this time socially I got drained. um
Yeah.
at some point you realize what's life. Pandemic happened, I sat home, all that hoopla, going out,
Yeah.
drinking, chefs cooking for you, doing all that, uh, seeing the world, everything, you know, just like, what's me? So, so all of the success of other people, I thought I'm happy with Steve's success through his winery and being his partner makes me happy. Being a mother makes me happy. I am happy. I was happy that way too. But I was telling Steve last night, this is like, it's like a cherry on top. I can be very happy doing what I love to do and performing, you know.
Yeah.
I'm playing every week on Facebook Live and Instagram. I put stuff out there and I have followers all over the world and they love my music and they encourage me so much. So this is really, really nice. Life can be much more um, much better and prettier when you do what you love. You can have everything.
Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Something.
Going and we were talking a little bit offline about like how long I've been doing this podcast, and this one is the third attempt. We failed. Me and some colleagues failed twice before, and then once the quarantine happened, I just jumped on a couple of film and TV projects that I had shot. They were on a hard drive ready to edit, knocked them out, and then started this, and going to trying to help the spouses understand that need to be creative and productive. The first question is, are you getting paid? And I said, no, but it's an outlet. But right now, no, I'm not getting paid on this podcast. Some people might be watching it. Hopefully I build a viewership. It would be nice if this thing grew into something, obviously, but it's right now, it's a creative outlet. It was something that kept me creative and productive during the quarantine. And then doing this got me other industrial and corporate jobs, doing live streaming, remote, virtual webinars, seminars, things of that nature. And then they kind of just fed each other. And I got a little bit more creative and technically creative and artistically creative with this podcast and figuring out I can do a bunch of different things and new things and kind of experiment. And it's like, some people just don't understand that there might not be any money in it right away. Or there might be some money in it, but it's not going to be millions of dollars. But you have to grow something, you have to build it.
Exactly.
And like an apple tree is not going to sprout apples until like, I don't know, like 4 and 5 years old, an apple tree.
Exactly.
But you got to grow it and you got to like water it maybe. But exactly. So it's like, it's just, it's a tricky thing to try to tell people like, yes, here's our life. But I know you've got your things and here are my things. But I mean,
Steve totally supports me as far as this goes. Financially, any way he can possibly do, he is doing it. PR.
He owns a wine. He owns a vineyard, so of course he can.
I'm okay, thank God, as far as that. So it's moving fast, And then I got symphonic, distribution, which is like labels want distribution like that, and I got in with Jason Jordan. He's amazing. He's behind 20 million copies sold, music sold. And as we talked, the first night when we were writing to each other, he said, this music is beautiful. It just has to be heard. And we're gonna try to have it heard. But it's not gonna happen right away. We build it up slowly. So I'm doing it, and I'm doing exactly what they asked me to do. I have to have all these URL put up in my marketing, so they show it to editors and all that. So I just have to do a lot of podcast interviews, radio interviews, perform, do all they ask me, and I'm doing it. So
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time we're done with this album, it will pick up.
Well, speaking of the music, let's can we hear something?
Sure.
Yeah.
Should I play it? You want me
Yeah,
to play?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope the sound is good.
Oh yeah. Sound is
What
great.
should I play? I was thinking about, I wrote this song called Behind the Veil. Should I play that?
Yeah, absolutely. Bravo and brava.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Thank you. That was Behind the Veil.
Behind the Veil. So, and that's yours, original?
That's mine.
Outstanding.
It's out there. It's on all the digital platforms, you know, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, all of it.
Outstanding.
So, yeah.
So, you know, incredible music. One note, you know, one thing that's, you know, kind of been like the structure of my thinking is that, you know, the last year, the new year, you know, the years were kind of shaped by the quarantine. So March 12th, is when a lot of things changed and everything shut down. And so January 1st really wasn't the new year. It was more like March of 2021. How are things in March of 2021? And now here we are, July something. So with that in mind, that's been really the year,
Mhm.
the last year. What's the new year, new you? What's the new normal, new you? What
Yeah,
the new year, new normal, new you? What comes to mind when I say that?
yeah. It's I mean, most of the time I'm in this studio, in my studio with the light in front of me. I'm playing. I'm doing this. And I'm just talking to a lot of people out there. That's the new me. I'm totally changed. My life has changed so much.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting at your own studio and talking through your phone so you can get out there even without doing concerts. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm getting fans all over the world without even being out there. Isn't
Hmm.
this amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love to do concerts, so I'm waiting
Yeah.
to
I love, you know,
do
I,
that.
I wasn't always the biggest fan of concerts because it's noisy, it's loud, everyone's drunk,
Mhm.
everyone's bumping into you,
Yeah,
everybody's on drugs or something. I mean, that's not all
yeah,
concerts, but like,
mhm.
that's most concerts maybe.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like with modern technology,
uh-huh.
it's funny you say that. You got video games now like Fortnite that have like a sub game where you can go to
Yeah,
these, you can go to these EDM concerts and you go to these rock concerts within the virtual reality
yeah,
video game of Fortnite,
yeah,
and
yeah.
experience all these events just with headphones and VR goggles and stuff like that, and it's really incredible.
Cool.
Yeah. So before I let you go and get back to rocking out your album, finishing out your fifth album. This is
No, this is my fourth.
this is your fourth. Okay.
Yeah,
Before I
but
let you, oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
well, I just released two albums
Hmm.
just to correct one that was Eternal Love,
Hmm.
and this new one is coming out by every 6 weeks doing singles. So just two of my albums are out for everybody to hear.
Okay. And so, but the fourth one's being
Yeah, the
released,
fourth one is the one that's taking off
and that's being released one single every 6 weeks.
at a time. Yeah,
Outstanding, outstanding.
yeah.
So
See, I never, you never know whose album. It's like you see somebody famous, you don't know how much is behind them, how much work and so much hard work. And like Kenny G's album, the Duotone, that was his fourth album too. But he wasn't famous
until the fourth
um,
one.
until the fourth one,
Yeah, I think same goes with Adele.
Yeah, yeah.
Adele came out with an album called 18, and she
Mhm.
came out with an album called 21. And either there was an album before 18 that nobody knew about,
Yeah,
or nobody knew about 18, but everybody knew about
yeah,
21. I don't know. Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, that's the case for a lot of folks. I mean, you ever heard of a rap group called House of Pain?
I think
They
so.
did they did this
Yeah,
they did the song Jump Around, huge hip hop,
could be. Yes, yes.
famous song Jump Around.
Mhm.
And so that the front man of House of Pain, he goes by Everlast.
Uh-huh.
Eric Schrody had an album or two before House of Pain that
Yeah.
nobody really knew about, but they
Yeah.
were but they were
Yeah.
produced by Ice-T,
Mhm.
and they
And they took off.
they got you know he these he did an album or two just as a solo rapper, Everlast. They got some critical acclaim, but not a lot of people knew about it. But when he started the rap group House of Pain,
Mhm,
they did Jump
mhm.
Around,
Yeah.
skyrocketed. So
Yeah.
it goes to show you,
Mhm.
couple of albums that
Yeah.
no one's ever going to know about.
Yeah.
Eminem came out with the album called Infinite,
Mhm.
and then he came out with the Slim Shady LP, and that's the album
Yeah.
that blew up.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm hoping to play with somebody, a major star or somebody.
yeah,
If I have a line in the studio or something, I can make some noise like that too. So all that is my hopes and aspirations.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
That's
listen,
what
it's not always going to be the first album that blows up. It might be the second
yeah,
or the fourth. So
yeah, yeah,
like you said with Kenny G. But if there
yeah.
was, but if there was one last bit of advice, one last point to make to anyone watching, what would that be?
Oh, listen to my music. Oh, you
Absolutely.
know, yeah, one last thing, I really want to get into films. So film, I think film is where my music belongs. When I play this for you, this, if you hear it on the radio, the way we produced it, it's got cellos and violins underneath it. It's so perfect for movies. That's what people tell me. My
Yeah.
music is perfect for movies. So, and I know that if I get into that, lock myself to this, I will have great success through through that. Usually, you know, when you sync your music to movies, I'm hoping to have this movie, this new one, that hopefully, you know, it's somebody famous story of their life.
Hmm.
So there's already a documentary on him. I can't name him, but now they're doing a movie about his life. So hopefully, when my music is the theme, you know, then this is exciting. They're going to start shooting in September. So we'll see.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. I look forward to hearing your music in it.
Yeah, yeah.
FARANAK SHAHROOZI, I can't thank you enough for coming on and playing
Thank
for
you.
us and telling us your
Oh.
story. FARANAK Music, I mean, gosh, you're everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube
Yeah.
Music, iHeart, Pandora, FARANAK Music on .com and YouTube and Facebook. So all those links in the description below, definitely, you know, accessible for our viewers to check you out and listen to your music. And again, can't thank you enough for coming on. It was a pleasure, and hope to have you back on soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Glenn. Nice knowing you.
If you want to become an honorary member of the Zombie Squad, send me some, hit me up on any of the socials. Send me the name that you want to be credited as a honorary member of Zombie Squad. Send me your favorite 1 or 2 profile pictures, avatars, what have you, your profile pictures on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and we can squad you up. I will make you an honorary member of the Zombie Squad, and I'll design all this stuff. I'll design a t-shirt, I'll design your logo, your whole Zombie Squad kind of profile if you want to be an honorary member of Zombie Squad, and give you the options to buy a t-shirt, to buy a phone case, to buy a pillow, to buy a tapestry, to buy a hoodie, to whatever the hell you want. But if you want to be an honorary member of the Zombie Squad, let me know. And
but you got to they got to put in the work though.
All they have to do is send me 1 or 2 of their profile pics, and they'll be an honorary member of the Zombie Squad.